Most clothing brand owners don't know how to run an actual business, okay? I'm not saying they're fucking stupid, I'm not saying they're fucking dumb, it's just that they don't know how to run a business, okay? Now, this is coming from someone that has worked with over 150 clothing brands, handling their back-end stuff, the whole acquisition side with ads, emails, organic marketing, content, for the past 3 years for clothing brands. We work with some pretty big fucking brand owners, most specifically brands like Flower, Pluto Golf, Society, Animation, and many more, okay? And the reason why I want to make this video is because a lot of you guys are watching, you want to be in the position where, you guys want to do this full time, right? And most of you guys that are watching are not doing this full time. You have a job, and then this is quite frankly, well, most likely your passion, or you're a very creative person and want to sort of portray that within your clothes or whatever it is, right? And obviously you guys might have different messaging, different vision for the brand or whatever it is, but that's not the point, okay? The point is you want to do this full time, but you're not in the position where you are doing this full time. Now the reason for that is it's not necessarily because you don't know how to run a brand, you have a shit product. It's not because your content is necessarily shit. It's not because my website is not good. It's not any of that. It's just that you guys treat this just like a hobby, alright? And expecting it to be your full time, if that makes sense. And if you're in a position, if you have that mindset of if you're just treating it like a hobby, which I will explain throughout the video, this is going to be a very, very fucking expensive side of it. Because I've talked to some brand owners that have spent tens and $20,000 just wasted down the drain because, okay, they're in a position where they just fucked around and lost it while making the brand and give up. I've seen this. This is why I'm making this video. And people that are watching that actually want to do this full time, because there are two types of people. Number one is people that actually tell me that they want it full time, but their actions don't lead it. Or number two is people that actually want to do this full time and actually take action. Because you can have the most information, you can have all the information in the world, but if you don't implement, then nothing quite frankly matters and nothing changes. Now, sort of going back to my topic of what I mean by you guys not knowing how to run a business. Again, I'm not trying to say you guys are fucking stupid. I'm not trying to say you guys are fucking dumb. I'm not saying any of that. It's just a matter of you guys treat this like a hobby. Now, what does that mean? Again, hobby, okay? Let's just say my hobby was to play basketball, right? And I'm not taking this seriously, right? So what does that mean? It's just going to the park with my friends, just shooting around a bunch of basketballs, not really carrying my form, but just making sure I have fun, get out there. Obviously I want to be good. I want to be good when I'm competing with my friends, but it's not something where I'm sort of taking myself to actually train over hours, train a lot of hours, spend money on coaching. None of that. It's just a hobby, right? Whereas someone who was serious about, trying to go to the NBA, who's trying to turn professional in basketball, which is still a hobby, but wants to actually turn this into something full time, right? They'll be in a position where they take this more seriously. Now, you gotta think about, what does that actually mean? What does that actually mean to take something more seriously? Number one is actually, having more structure and systems within their routine. So maybe actually getting a coach so they can work on the form, right? Maybe playing in competitive games, right? Maybe stuff like that where it puts them in a position where they can compete and actually improve their skills, instead of just doing whatever you want. And the main thing that I want you to get out of it is freestyling, right? If it's a hobby, you can do what you want as you feel like it. It doesn't really matter, right? You can play on Sunday. If you don't feel like, you don't have to. It's not the end of the world. Whereas if this is something where you do want to become pro, where you do want to become a business, where you do want to do this full time, you have to be in the position where even if you don't feel like it, you have to do it, right? Even if you don't want to spend that money on coaching, but you want to perfect your basketball form, you still need to do it because you want to get to the next level. And that is the main objection that I get in terms of what I see branders that are struggling day after day, months after month, year after year, is that they just keep on treating this like a fucking side hobby. And I'm really passionate about this because I don't want you guys to fail. And I understand coming from a situation where, I've worked with a lot of branders. They love this shit, right? But just because you love the game, just because you love your clothes, doesn't quite necessarily mean you're gonna sell. And without cash flow in the business, then nothing literally matters. Cash flow in the business is quite frankly oxygen. Okay? Without it, then everything dies. Okay? Now, I want to get more into specific on, obviously I've given you the basketball analogy, right? Of you guys, an athlete actually train this like a hobby. Now, what does that actually mean for a brand owner? Because you're probably wondering, Daniel, what the fuck do you mean? I treat this pretty seriously. Like, I treat this seriously. I work on it every 2 hours a day, etc., etc. Even when I don't feel like it. Now, let me break it down for you. There's only 2 things that you really need to do to scale a clothing brand to 10K a month, or even 100K a month, even $1 million a month, or whatever it is. Okay. Now, number 1 is what we call product, which is quite frankly, you know, like the value that we provide to the market, right? To the market towards ISP. Now, the second thing that we need to focus on is what we call the acquisition, which is how do we get our value seen consistently, which is a key word, consistently by the right people in the market, right? And I don't know if you guys watch Lewis Hamilton, but you know, obviously to win an F1 race, it's not just all about the car, it's about the driver as well, right? Again, if Lewis Hamilton was to drive a broken down Toyota, he probably wouldn't not even come close to actually win the race. However, if I was to drive an F1 car, I probably wouldn't win the race either, because I don't have skills like Lewis Hamilton. And that's the same process that I want you to think about when you look at product and acquisition. You can have the most amazing product in the world, but if you're not in a position where you have an acquisition system where you can get attention, where by the right people you get consistently seen, then quite frankly nothing matters. And same thing, right? You can have the most beautiful oiled up acquisition system where you can get the right people, but if your products are shit and doesn't provide any value to the market, doesn't serve a single purpose, then it doesn't matter. You're not going to have a very long-term business, right? So it's both as important. And what I see time after time, obviously being in this industry for 3.5 years now, is that a lot of the brand owners don't really give a fuck about the acquisition side, because they feel as though that if they just have good product and just post a couple times on Instagram, they'll fucking just get sales, right? You see what the issue is when I say that they're treating this like a side hobby, right? Whereas, you know, back in 2018, back in 2000, maybe 19, before COVID 20, you could post a flat lay of a picture of the product and actually blow up because the product does well. But you have to realize we're in a whole complete different era. The ability to start a clothing brand in 2026 has never been fucking easier, especially with AI. And now what does that mean for you? Quite frankly, it means more competition. What does more competition mean for you? It means more clothing brands that you're competing across in the same niche. The only way that you're going to be in a situation where you can actually differentiate yourself between the competitors, right, and actually scale is by building systems and infrastructures within your brand, right? Going down deeper into the actual acquisition side of the brand. Now, you're probably asking me, Daniel, what the fuck is the acquisition? Okay, I'm gonna break you down. Acquisition is, if I go deeper, is basically, okay, how do we get our value seen consistently by the right people? And from a brand perspective, especially from 0 to 50K a month, there's only a couple sources that you can provide to get the right traffic towards your brand, right? Number 1 is organic marketing. Number 2 is paid acquisition, which meta ads, which is the absolute GOAT. If you're not running meta ads, what are you doing, right? Which I'll get deeper into later in this video, okay? Third is email and SMS marketing, and 4th is influencer marketing, and the 5th is obviously affiliate marketing, but that's kind of gay. Okay? Now, you hear these terms like organic marketing, paid ads, influencer marketing. There's 2 brand owners on what they actually think when they hear these words. Number 1 is, Daniel, what the fuck are they? I haven't been doing them. I've only been so focused on the product. No wonder why I'm not getting sales. Awesome. Brand owner number 2 is, oh, I've been fucking doing them. Right? I've been doing them. Oh, I'm still not getting sales. Now, think about what the fuck you've actually done, right? So let me ask you with ads, right? A funny conversation I had with one of my clients now, I'm not going to name drop him, but he was in a situation where he was running ads for, I think, 7-8 months, and he felt like he's done everything he can, alright? But again, he still treated this like a hobby, right? And I need you to have the mentality of where you need to treat this like a business to be in the position where this can be your business. So I asked him, okay, so you've been running ads for 8 months, you've seen no progress, you're not profitable, so what have you actually done with ads? Oh, and then he answered, oh, he's just trying a bunch of this. Okay, so what's the CBO ABO structure? He's like, I don't know what that is. Okay, what's your break even? He didn't break even rise. He didn't know what that is, like the basic fundamentals of media buying. So it's coming from a position where you're running ads 100%, but how are you running ads? Because if I get a 17-year-old kid out the street and he wants to scale his brand to 10K a month, and he was like, and we asked him, hey, 17-year-old kid, what are you doing with ads to scale your brand 10K a month? And he says, oh, I just watched one YouTube video and just gave it a fucking. Do you think he genuinely, do you think he can scale his brand in 10K a month? Probably fucking not. So what makes us any different? And again, I'm not calling you guys 17-year-old, but at the end of the day, there are specific inputs to get specific deliverable outputs, right? In this game, it's very simple, right? And with acquisition, with meta ads, or just ads in general, right? If you're in a situation where you just watched a couple of videos, just gave it a go, and just you don't even know what you actually fucking know. You don't know what KPI you're chasing. You know how you're testing. You don't know your ad structure testing. You know the specific creative variables that you're testing. Like what is it, right? And it's sort of comes to say, it's like sort of giving you that sort of F1, right? If you were just to put onto an F1 car, just because people have won races in this car, but you don't know how to drive it properly, you don't know where the buttons are, you don't know how to turn the vehicle, that doesn't mean you're going to win the race, right? So many brands scale through meta ads, but it's the brands that utilize it with the most effective strategy, with the right strategy, but also how to sort of test properly and all that type of stuff. Sort of the reason why I'm making this video is because I want you to realize, and after you watch this video, after you watch this video, I actually want you to treat this like an actual proper business, alright? Not coming from a situation where you just give half-ass shit a go and maybe, oh, fucking, I don't know about ads, so I'm gonna hire a fucking marketing agency. How are you meant to hire someone to run your ads if yourself don't even know the basic skills, basic KPIs, basic knowledge to run the ads? How do you know they're going to do a good fucking job? You don't. You're fucking guessing. And if you're in a situation where they've done a good fucking job, which I've seen happen, right? And they leave, which I've seen happen, what the fuck are you going to do? It's this fucking hamster wheel again. And you're never going to be in the position where you scale unless yourself have the skill set, have the knowledge to acquire the skills, right? To be in the position to scale, because quite frankly, I'm not the one that's gonna help scale your brand. This video isn't gonna help scale your brand. It's not this fucking freelancer you find an Upwork to scale your brand. It's you, right? You're the only one that's actually gonna be in the position at the start to scale your brand to 10K a month, 15K a month at the early stage. Okay, and that's the one thing I want you to realize. Now, very important, I want you to treat this, if you got anything out of this video, the main thing that I want you to understand is I want you to treat this like an actual business. Okay, now what does that actually mean? Sort of going back to my analogy of basketball, right? Instead of just shooting whenever you feel like, whenever you're just shooting however you feel like it, right? You don't have a workout routine, you eat what the fuck you want, you just shoot with your friends every Sunday afternoon. That's a hobby, right? Whereas if you want to become professional, there needs structure and systems. So actually, number one, maybe, you know, finding how to learn the ads properly, right? The certain testing structure, the KPIs, and what to actually chase. Building structure within the business, right? Creating funnels, top funnel, middle funnel, bottom funnel. Because at the end of the day, those are the acquisition stuff that we actually need to implement within the brand to scale, right? Without that, and where you're just freestyling completely, you're never going to be in a position where we can get sales, and without sales, your business collapses, okay? And personally, I sort of want you to have a business. I sort of want you to have a clothing brand where you make clothes and make money instead of just making clothes and just having fun and not making money. Because I'll kid you not, right? Branders have a whole lot more fun making money while doing what they love to do. And the sad thing is, and not sad, but the truth is, you need to be in the position where you figure out the business side of things, unfortunately. Even though it is not what you enjoy, you still need to have the basic operations. Very basic, alright? Very, very basic. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and it's a very different type of videos I make to my Miro boards, but I feel as though I am driving right now, and I just popped up my camera and just had a thought and just started recording. And I really want you guys to treat this like a fucking business. And obviously, what does that actually, entail, right? Business is actually learning the skills and the acquisition side of things. Because again, you can have the most amazing product in the world. Quite frankly, most of you guys watching do, right? Most of the clothing brands don't make fucking any money. Have the most beautiful, amazing product, but never get the chance to scale their business to up to its dream because they don't have the acquisition side, right? So you guys have to learn the basic principle. And you guys just learning this type of stuff, it's not like we're trying to build a rocket and send it to Jupiter. It's not, right? It's very simple. It's just that most of you guys are so fucking lazy. I'm gonna call you guys out. You guys are just so lazy. You guys want just everything done for you, all that bullshit, right? Go out there, right? Find a coach, whoever the fuck it is, go onto YouTube, dial it down, dial an actual strategy down that actually is proven, right? Talk to other successful brand owners, be in the position where you can do that, right? Because again, we need to act as a business owner to build a business, okay? If you have any questions, shoot me a message on Instagram, anything with your brand. I'll reply within an hour. Okay. And okay, if you want a full audit of your brand situation, on what your brand actually is, what is its bottlenecks, and how can we sort of build a roadmap and get a free roadmap to your dream golf brand, I'm going to put the link in my bio to book a call to speak with me directly, okay? And we'll go from there. Peace.